So, haunted places are all over the world, and people usually think that they're only in asylums, hospitals, prisons, etc. But that is entirely not true. Anywhere can be haunted, including a Burger King. I know. It sounds crazy. But today we're going to be diving into two of the most haunted Burger Kings in the US. Although there are probably more, let's be real, it's Burger King. These are the ones that I've heard the most stories about. So let's talk about the haunted Burger King in Sacramento, California. Now, an actual tragedy did happen at this Burger King back in 2016. And employees say that it directly correlates with the hauntings that are happening over there. But before we get into the ghost stories, what was this tragedy? What happened here? On a Tuesday night in October of 2016, 38-year-old Erlyn Michelle Rivera was off to her evening shift at Burger King. Erlyn was a star worker. She worked here for 8 years. And everyone loved Erlyn. She was loved by all of her coworkers. Everyone thought she was super cool. One coworker in an article that I will drop down below said she made everyone laugh. And another coworker said that she would give her shirt off her back if she could. She was just that kind of person, always full of light, always positive, but behind that light there was darkness, specifically in her home life. Erlyn had a boyfriend. His name was Jorge Aviles, and he was 45 years old. On top of this, she also had 3 kids with this man, okay? One coworker that really got close with Erlyn over the years said that she loved Burger King so much because it was such a positive escape from her home life with him. She always picked up extra evening shifts. She was always there for everybody there. Because at the end of the day, she wanted to do a good job so she could take care of her 3 kids. But on this night, in October of 2016, tragedy struck this Burger King. Jorge showed up while Erlyn was working her evening shift, shot and killed her, and then unalived himself in the women's bathroom. Apparently, before this happened, Erlyn came into work saying that she left Jorge and was tired of dealing with him, and she wanted to start a new life for herself. They believe that this was the motive that made Jorge kill Erlyn. The co-workers, after this happened, obviously were scarred, and none of them really expected their relationship to end like this. They thought it would be a really traumatic breakup for her, but no one ever thought that she would be murdered by this man. I want to end on a quote that one of the co-workers said that will transition us into this ghost story. The co-worker wrote, "We will just remember Erlyn and who she was, and she will always be a part of us. She is this Burger King." She is this Burger King gives me chills because the employees at this Burger King still believe that she haunts the place. One employee reported that they can't work at night unless they have headphones in. They hear footsteps all the time, faint whispers, especially when they're there in the evenings alone. In the mornings, in the women's bathroom, employees report hearing a woman humming and singing to herself, and nobody's in there. They also hear a woman trying to utter words, but it just comes out in these strange, eerie whispers. Customers have also reported to the staff that they feel like there's somebody standing on top of them when they go to the bathroom, like in the stalls. Like they feel someone like literally on top of them, which is super scary. One time, 2 coworkers were there in the evening cleaning up the kitchen, and they heard someone screaming from inside the fridge area as if they were hurt or something. They went down there because they thought there was like an intruder or something, but there was nobody there. But someone was literally screaming bloody murder. They even checked the security cameras. There was nothing. So that is our first Burger King ghost story of this video, the ghost of Erlyn Rivera that haunts the Burger King in Sacramento. If you guys have any more stories about this Burger King, let me know in the comments. But let's go into the next story. So I found these stories online on a forum from a Burger King employee who works at a small Burger King in Las Vegas. Now, I'm from Vegas, and that entire city is haunted, so it doesn't really surprise me that this Burger King is, but the stories about this Burger King are actually crazy. The stories come from this user named Seaman10. Seaman10. Who talks about their paranormal experiences while working there. They actually have one story up called The White Lady of Burger King. I don't know why that sounds hilarious to me. I looked more into this forum and they posted a year later saying the hauntings got even more intense. So we're going to read those 2 stories right now. Let's dive in. All right. So I found these on yourghoststories.com. So this is kind of like a forum where you can post real paranormal things that happen to you in your life. You can post your own ghost stories, your own ghost sightings, etc. Let's start off with the first story about this Burger King, the White Lady of Burger King. For a while, things have calmed down in my life with the supernatural, but as of the last couple years, all kinds of bizarre events are happening. I thought some would make great stories to share with you, but I'm starting with an ongoing saga of what we have dubbed the White Lady at my Burger King. I've worked for the company a year now, and both locations I have been at were haunted. While there's not much story to the first store I was at, what I've experienced on the night shift, along with others at my current store, it's something straight from a horror movie. It started simple enough. One night while I was manning the front counter, I noticed a young woman in her 20s waving to get my attention. She had what I'd best describe as a formal white gown on from the flapper days and long blonde hair. I explained I'd be right with her and turned away less than a second. In the time I'd taken to turn back around, she was gone. I assumed I was just exhausted, and I wrote it off until a month later. My coworkers and I were discussing ghosts, and while asking if a friend believed in them, she mentioned she'd seen one at work. When I asked the story, I'll give you one guess as to the specter she described. That's right, the same lady, same wave, even standing in the same place. It really creeped us out, but we really didn't think much of it. But apparently the woman knew that we'd seen her because that's when the hauntings began in earnest. It started as little things. To this day, I see her in the lobby doing various things, whether it be waving me down again, sitting in a booth, or staring out the window, or dancing as if she's the most elegant person in the ball. Other people have claimed to see her too, including one employee who I'd never seen so spooked in my life. One night after I'd clocked out and went home, one of my employees was waiting for a ride and swore to me as she was walking around something followed her. Loud, heavy footsteps that made her blood run cold. I found this a little eerie but thought nothing of it, even after she quit, no longer wishing to work the night shift. Then came my disturbing experience. At about 11:55, only 5 minutes until closing, I was taking orders. I had told the current card that I didn't have a specific item they wanted. What I was greeted by was the most blood-curdling scream I have ever heard in my life. Like the sound of a woman in a horror movie just moments before being taken out by some man in a mask. I threw off my headset thinking it was just someone in the car, and as the car, who didn't want the food, drove off, I noticed distinctly that there was only one passenger in the car. A man. Understandably, I was visibly shaken, and thank God that I never got another car before I was able to take off for the night. After that, her appearances became far more frequent. My GM was skeptical, but becoming less so with every team member that seemed to come forward having heard a strange sound or seemingly seen someone who just wasn't there. Fast forward to last night. We already closed the dining room for the night and I was cleaning, and then clear as day, I heard her for the first time. I turned around, but there was just two women on their phones finishing their meals. Neither had any idea what I was talking about. Then tonight came what I call an escalation. I came into work, my GM telling me, "Okay, I believe you about your ghost." I asked what happened, and according to her, both managers this morning, while the store was completely empty, swore up and down that they heard someone shout the ASM's name. Then tonight, as we were doing our usual work, my coworker turned to me and asked if I could hear someone crying. At first, I was too busy to notice, but before long, I heard gross sobbing. Again, a woman's. It continued for a good 5 minutes. Supposedly, our Burger King was built near what was once an old cemetery, but honestly, none of us know where to begin to figure out who the White Lady is. My only hope is that she's as friendly as she first appeared, and her creepier interactions are indeed harmless. Wow. So that's the first story. Pretty creepy. Doesn't surprise me that this Burger King would be near a cemetery because there's like a lot of cemeteries in Vegas that are like small and just like strip malls and stuff. Like they just pop up everywhere, even by cemeteries. She sounds kind of confused, like she doesn't know where she is or why she's there. It's really sad, but apparently this gets even worse to the point where this person came back a year later on this forum to talk about another experience that they are having at the Burger King. This story is called "The White Lady of Burger King Isn't Alone Anymore." So here's the part 2 I promised you, and it's been a long time coming. That said, so much has happened in the past several months, this part 2 will just keep getting longer. So I'm going to start by saying, by now, there isn't a single person who has worked the night shift that doesn't have a story. We have named our ghosts. There's a lady in white we call Helena. Okay, so the white lady now has a name, Helena, okay. A tall man named Slim, a shadow figure named Let's Never Meet That Thing. That's really funny, actually. Let's Never Meet That Thing. That's a great name. And Peeping Tom, the affectionate name I've given to the playroom ghost. Creepy. I'll start by talking about Slim. Slim started passing around when my manager confirmed that the voice she was hearing now daily in the morning was a male. This was the first we'd heard about it, but not the last. Things escalated to the night shift the night we found this out. We were closing the lobby for the night and just turning out the lights when I saw him. A tall man in the cover of darkness. It was the clearest picture I had ever gotten of a ghost here. He was tall, at least 6 feet, with slicked back hair, and a clean pressed suit. What immediately struck me was how angry the man looked. But what scared me the most was that it was a full minute before he seemingly vanished into thin air, still glaring daggers at me. He is truly creepy. Given we do live in Las Vegas, I don't doubt that this is a mobster, hence the generic mobster name we've given him. Recently, our ghosts have been playing with our security cameras. It all started with one truly terrifying night. Everyone had gone home for the night and I was staying late with some last-minute counts when something caught my eye. There was a figure, or rather a shape, in the camera feed. At first I suspected a bug, but to my astonishment and horror, it took a human shape. Before I knew it, I was watching this figure calmly walk from one feed to the next, walking the length from the back room to the front register before disappearing through a wall. I went to check everything that night. Every door was locked, every window, the bathrooms were empty, the playroom was empty. I couldn't get out of there fast enough. It was enough that my general manager said that she wouldn't have blamed me if I just quit on the spot. I mean, I wouldn't have blamed you either. This sounds really scary. Things are so normal now that we've started to adjust, but they're obviously getting much spookier. But Helena, aka the white lady ghost, okay? Helena did the scariest thing I can speak of. By far the most terrifying of all. Oh God, what is it? We thought she and the others simply stuck to the lobby. Hell, I even believed that they'd leave us in peace. But recently we've been under renovation. Oh God, ghosts hate it when you renovate. Seriously, guys. We hadn't seen any of them in days, and I assumed the shadow figure was a one-time occurrence. 2 nights ago, I was putting away food when I was greeted by Helena, the lady in white, inches from my face between the spaces of our food trays. I had to stifle a scream and spook the entire staff as I was the only one who saw her. But now, we all know that the ghosts are very much in control of who sees them, where they are seen, and where they are. I don't know why it frightens me so much. They aren't hurting anybody, but having thought the kitchen as our safe space, it was certainly not comforting. So greetings from Las Vegas's very haunted little Burger King. I hope maybe I'll have some crazier stories on the horizon, but until next time, I think we'll keep the lights on in the lobby for a while. I wonder which Burger King this is. I really want to get in touch with this person and find out which one, because I go to Vegas often. Again, it is my hometown, and I really want to know what's going on. These are serious hauntings, guys, and it doesn't surprise, it wouldn't even surprise me if this Burger King is built over a part of that cemetery that was nearby. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you want me to post more videos like this, let me know, like, subscribe. I love talking about haunted restaurants, haunted fast food places. This is definitely going to be more of a thing on this channel, and I appreciate your support. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay spooky, y'all.